When you think of Pakistan, for millions of people, one thing comes to mind: cricket. It's the sound of a roaring crowd, the flash of green jerseys on a field, but behind every incredible catch, behind every single six that flies into the stands, there's this powerful, really complex and, let's be honest, often controversial organization pulling all the strings. Today, we are breaking down the institution at the very heart of it all, the Pakistan Cricket Board.
I want you to picture this. It's a cool night in Lahore. The floodlights are buzzing, lighting up the Gaddafi Stadium. You're surrounded by tens of thousands of screaming fans. It's just a sea of green shirts, everyone waving flags. The energy in the air, absolutely electric.
And down on the field, you've got superstars like Quaid-e-Azam and Shaheen Shah Afridi, and they're gearing up to face one of the best teams on the planet. This is way more than just a game, right? It's a huge international spectacle, being broadcast to millions of people all over the world. But have you ever stopped to think about what it actually takes to make a night like this happen? You know, the logistics of organizing the tour, managing the players, running the stadiums, and, most importantly, finding and developing the talent that gets to this level in the first place? Well, the answer to all of that comes down to one single entity. And that entity, of course, is the Pakistan Cricket Board, or as you'll always hear it, the PCB. It's basically the engine that drives everything we see on the screen. So, let's get into it. What exactly does the PCB do?
Well, the PCB's job is massive. First off, it manages all the national teams. We're talking the men's, the women's, and the under-19s. Then it runs the entire domestic cricket scene, from old-school tournaments to its modern crown jewel, the Pakistan Super League. And maybe the most critical part of its job is to find and nurture that next generation of superstars, starting right from the grassroots level.
To really understand the PCB, though, we have to go way back. We have to go back to its very beginning, which, you'll see, is totally wrapped up in the history of Pakistan itself.
So the board was officially created on May 1st, 1949. And think about that date. It's less than 2 years after the nation itself was founded. Back then, its name was the Board of Control for Cricket in Pakistan, or BCCP. And this wasn't just about setting up some sports committee. This was a statement. It was about forging a national identity on the world stage through sport.
And they moved fast. By 1952, Pakistan was admitted as a full member of the International Cricket Council, the ICC. Now that was a huge deal. It basically put them in the elite club of test-playing nations. And that very same year, they played their first ever test series against their brand new rivals, India. The foundation was officially set.
But that solid, stable beginning, well, it pretty quickly gave way to a long and really turbulent journey. For a huge chunk of its history, the board has been defined by instability and just constant change.
Get this, on 4 separate occasions, the board's entire constitution was just suspended. An ad hoc committee was brought in just to run things. It happened in 1960, again in 1978 because of player salary disputes, then again in 1994, and one more time in 1999 amidst some serious corruption allegations. Every single one of these moments was basically a major crisis.
And if you want a number that just perfectly illustrates this chaos, here it is, 37. Since 1949, the board has had 37 different chairmen. The job was often a political appointment, changing whenever the government changed. That kind of constant churn at the top makes long-term planning almost impossible, and it created this culture of instability that just haunted Pakistani cricket for decades.
So, to break that cycle, the board knew it had to fix the very system that produces its players. I mean, it's pretty simple. You can't have a world-class national team if your domestic structure is a mess.
For years, Pakistan's domestic system was, frankly, a bit of a mess. It was this weird mix of teams from cities and government departments, which meant the competition wasn't always great and nobody was really watching. Then, in 2019, everything changed. That old system was scrapped and replaced with a slick, new structure built around 6 elite regional teams. The whole idea was to concentrate the best talent and crank up the competition.
The new model creates this really clear pipeline to the top. It all starts at the grassroots level, with 90 city cricket associations looking for talent in schools and clubs. From there, the best players move up to these inner-city tournaments. And finally, the absolute cream of the crop gets picked for those 6 elite regional teams. This ensures that the best players are always playing against the best players.
So while the board was busy fixing its own house, it was also fighting its biggest battle on the outside, trying to bring international cricket back home to Pakistan. The year 2009 was an absolute tragedy for Pakistan cricket.
After the horrific attack on the Sri Lankan team bus, international teams, understandably, refused to tour because of security concerns. For nearly a decade, Pakistan became a no-go zone. Its stadiums were empty and silent. A whole generation of Pakistani players never got to play an international match in front of their home crowd. They were forced to play their home games in the UAE. It was just a devastating blow to the soul of the sport in the country.
But the PCB started the slow, careful mission to rebuild trust. It began in 2015, when Zimbabwe bravely became the first team to tour in years. Then a huge breakthrough came in 2017, when the ICC itself sent a World 11 team full of stars. By 2020, the entire Pakistan Super League was finally being held on home soil. And the journey reached its peak in 2025, when Pakistan hosted the ICC Champions Trophy, the ultimate sign that cricket was truly, finally home.
So after all those decades of internal chaos and being isolated from the world, that long journey brings us to today, where the PCB is in a much, much stronger position on the world stage.
And you can see the results of that resilience everywhere. The world's top teams, Australia, England, New Zealand, they're all coming back to Pakistan for full tours now. The major stadiums have been upgraded, and the PSL has become this massive, globally recognized success story. The board pretty much accomplished its #1 goal, proving to the world that Pakistan is a safe, passionate, and absolutely essential place for international cricket.
So, the PCB has climbed this incredible mountain to get here. It's stabilized its leadership, it's rebuilt its foundations, and it's brought the game back home to the people who love it most. The question now is, what's next? With its place in the world restored, what's the next great mountain for this incredibly resilient organization to climb to bring in a new golden era for Pakistan cricket?